Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Guys, I'm bringing back an oldie but real goodie. I'm talking 25, 30 years ago here. Probably the number one selling racket, or definitely a top 3 or 4 selling racket back in that day. Man, I'm talking about my college days. All right, guys. So when somebody turned this racket in, I was like, oh man, this is bringing back some memories here. I remember a day when I saw a lot of people on those city college courts carrying this thing around. And I was like, I remember it like it was yesterday when Prince dominated the racket scene and Wilson was kind of like a little behind. But not much. And these rackets were basically dominating this CTS series. Remember when I was talking about like Capriati and the Lightning? There was the Thunderstick that people loved also in the oversize. They also made it in a 90, which not that many people bought. Everybody back then preferred the oversize 110. This was kind of the controlled version of the Thunderstick, and it was slightly more powerful than the Lightning. There was also a Graduate. So I don't know if these names ring a bell to you guys, but back in the day, Lightning was first, Approach was second, Graduate was third, and then Thunderstick was the most powerful of the 4. And these rackets were like dominating the market. We had Profile out there from Wilson that was just super powerful. These just had like a tapered beam that flexed. You know, it was controlled power. I mean, even that Thunderstick, which was super thick at the top, kind of thinned out in the middle to the bottom to kind of give you the flexy control that, you know, we needed to keep the ball in the court with a bigger head like this. So, but I just wanted to kind of share with you like a couple things. Like I used to do this myself back in the day, and I had no time on the court. I would just throw an overgrip on and just kind of, I'd probably do a better job than this, but it seems like this guy probably didn't know what he was doing, or he was in a rush and needed to just kind of play, because it's just wrapped like a mummy here. I don't even know where it ends, but I'm going to have to clean that up. Can you imagine playing with this? Like I could feel literally the lines in my hand. Like I could feel it. It's not smooth. It's wrapped the wrong way. I think it ended right here, which tells me that it probably got wrapped the wrong way. So obviously this was taken out of somebody's garage and probably hasn't been played with for 20 years, except for maybe in an emergency basis when somebody comes to town and say, here, you can use this racket from 25 years ago, you know. But I mean, I'm sure these strings are super old. Like I'm moving them and they're just staying right there. Actually, I just straightened it out. Look at that. But let's check out some specs, and I'm going to clean this thing up, put some modern Confidential in it, obviously change the grip out, and see how it plays with polyester. That's what I wanted to do with this. So let's check the weight out real quick. Let's check the weight out. 12.4, guys. 12.4. All right, let's check the grams. Check the grams. Wow, 352. It's a high number. High number, guys. 352. Sorry, guys. It's about 318 on the balance. So pretty head heavy. Pretty heavy overall. Let's hit the scale here. And check out swing weight. I'll bet it's a high number. 341. Yeah, it's a pretty high number. Oh man, the holiday season's over, guys. Back to the regular Pete's Black Cup. you guys want to support the channel, support my black coffee habit, Sumatra's on the menu today. Network is buymeacoffee.com/tennis spin. You want to check out my merch, check out the store, tennisspinusa.com. All right, links are below. Thank you. All right, so let's quickly check out this approach here. The weight is 352, which is 12.4. That's kind of in RF territory. 318, head heavy. Swing weight, head heavy. So there's a lot of racket coming through when you swing these things. This was the trend back then. Everything was kind of like a 2x4 in your hand. So I'm going to modernize this racket a little bit. I'm going to obviously change that grip out. I'm going to confidential this racket out and see how it feels. So on the court, bringing back an old favorite, Prince CTS Approach110. Let's see how Coach Chris thinks of this thing. All right, so we just finished hitting with the CTS Approach110. You know, I freaking had you on that last rally.
Yeah.
I don't know how you freaking ran that crap. I was just kind of moseying up like, I got this, and then freaking Speedy over here get to freaking back. And I'm like, how the... All right, I'm just a little mad right now. It's all right. Okay, Coach Chris, what'd you think of that Prince racket?
So... this Prince racket is an interesting racket to play with. I felt like that it was a little bit tough to get the swing through. It was a little heavier, I think, in the head for me, at least, that I'm used to. It is quite powerful, though. As you saw, that Harry almost tried to hit a shot by me, but he couldn't, and he's still fuming after that. But nonetheless, he put, confidential on this. It felt like there's quite a bit of control, a lot of power too as well. Definitely a racket that would be interesting to see if Prince kind of did a modern take on too as well. So, but still, for what it is, back then, playing with it now, it's still pretty competitive racket.
So Coach Chris, one of the things I didn't tell you about this racket is that this is probably the heaviest head racket you've ever played with, maybe besides the Fed weighted racket or the Rafa weighted racket. So those are both pro weighted rackets. So back in this day, I'm talking when you were 1 or 2 years old, all of these rackets were kind of like this. It was like all the weight was out here. It was super head heavy. There's a tapered beam, as you can see. It's thin and it gets thick and it's super thick at the top. So it causes some kind of a flex in the middle to the throat here. Okay. So that's where you're gaining the control. But with the larger size head is where you're getting the power. So the tapered beam that flexes is kind of negating the oversized head.
Got it.
So you probably felt a lot of drag like what I did with this racket.
I did.
Like the first 10 minutes, I was like, man, there's a lot to come around. Like they don't make rackets like this anymore. And there's kind of a reason. It's like a lot of people can't get it around. It's not that easy. But I mean, Coach Chris and I, really kind of had a difficult time with this racket. I mean, we're talking, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but, I mean, it's an oldie, and I know a lot of you guys, because you guys always Instagram or email me saying, what can replace this? What can replace this? Well, not a whole lot, guys. So got to go to, Goodwills and eBays and find rackets like this, because they don't make them like they used to. Okay? Yeah. So especially for the new generation who has them a lot head lighter so that it goes through the air faster. Mm-hmm. This thing drags. And when you hit it, it actually flexes like through here. And then before it flaps, I say, and then the ball takes off. So, yeah. But have you ever tried a racket like this before?
I don't think so. Definitely one of the heavier rackets that I play with in terms of the weight distribution on the racket. So. Yeah,
they're making them for sissies these days. They make them so easy to swing around. Not that you're a sissy, coach, but
you couldn't hit it by me even when he was hitting with this racket.
I'm going to break one of his legs next time. All right, I want to thank my man, Coach Chris, for hanging out with me today and trying an oldie but goodie. Confidential felt great in this, by the way. Coach, where can we find you?
You can find me at CB Tennis. That's it.
All right. Modern day strings on an olden day racket. Try it for yourself. Take your old racket and try some Confidential. You might like it. All right, guys, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.